Hey guys, Justin here. I'm a gearhead. I've already done a video on gear that I'm done with for 2020, and I've been doing a ton of research to figure out what gear I'm gonna replace that gear with and what's gonna be a good fit for me on the trail. Today I'm gonna be talking about 6 pieces of gear that's gonna be new for me in 2020, including a new pack, new shoes, and new sleep system gear. I'll be putting links in the video description on where you can pick the gear up, or if you wanna try it out with me on the trail in 2020, then that'd be great too. After you're done watching the video, do me a favor and let me know what gear you'd be most excited about seeing an in-depth review on. First up, we have the smallest but mightiest of the bunch, and that's the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe Stove. I've been looking at the Topo Windmaster stove for a while, but it's just really hard to get in Canada. And based on all of the reviews and testing I've seen, the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe is as good, if not a little bit better in all of the testing compared to the Topo Windmaster. The primary reasons I want to try this stove out are that it does really well in wind due to this lip that you can see on the top here, as well as the fact that it has a really wide burner that's going to be great when cooking using my 1 liter pot. And then it also has a regulator, which makes this stove cook really well in cold weather. I used it on a trip already this winter, and it cooked way better than the stove that I had that did not have a regulator. If you watched my preparing for 2020 video, then you know that I have a trip planned for this spring to Peru. And one of the things I really wanted to do for that trip is be carry-on only. I didn't want to have to deal with checked baggage. And in order to do that, I needed a new pack that fit carry-on requirements. I did a ton of research in a lot of different packs and looked at basically every pack out there that was carry-on specs and led me down the road of frameless packs. And this is gonna be the first frameless pack that I've ever tried, but the one that I landed on was the Mountainsmith Zerk 40 pack. This is a great pack. It has great specs and a lot of features and versatility. It's also really easy to get in Canada and is relatively affordable. The thing weighs 25 ounces or 700 grams, has 30-pound advertised carrying capacity, and I've used this pack already and had 20 pounds in it and it carried it no problem. It also has 40 liters of capacity, not including all the mesh pockets on it, and there's a lot of pockets on this thing. That was one of the other reasons why I wanted to get it, was apparently it was designed with side pockets that were very reachable, and compared to other standard packs that I've used, the side pockets are quite reachable, especially with my inflexible arms. I was able to get a water bottle in it and out of it with minor problems. It was still a little bit tougher than my REI Flash 55. Like I said, I've gotten this pack out on one trip so far, and it was really comfortable, way more comfortable than I thought it was gonna be. Carried great, and I think that's attributable to these awesome shoulder pads that are very wide, really padded, and have a little bit of a running vest style to them. I'm really excited to get this pad out on more trips, get it on the trail, some longer trips, and use some of the features that it has, like these front pockets and also a double side pocket on the side here. So great pack, really excited for it, and I think it's gonna be one of my favorite items in 2020 if it holds up to what my initial impressions are. Another piece of gear I'm gonna be replacing in 2020 is my footwear. I've been using Ultras, and it's very hard to find a comparable shoe that has that wide toe box. But Topo Athletic does make a shoe with wide toe box, and I'm gonna be using the Terra Venture 2. This shoe is slightly stiffer, has more cushion, and is apparently more durable than most Ultras out there. I've been using this shoe quite a bit in the gym, and I think it's gonna be a great shoe for me. No hot spots, even when doing long miles. The one thing I wish it had was a wider toe box. It has a slightly more narrow toe box compared to the Ultra Lone Peak 3.5s, and we'll see over time if my pinky toe ends up busting out the side here. Overall, I think it's gonna be a fun shoe, so stay tuned as I put it through its paces over the summer of 2020. If you guys follow the channel, you guys know that I'm a big fan of the Lanshan tent. And in 2020, 3FUL, the company that makes the Lanshan, released a new model, the Lanshan Pro. This is a single-walled version that uses a 20 denier fabric instead of the 15 denier fabric. And like I said, is single-walled. That's something that I've never tried before. I've never used a single-walled tent, so I'm really excited to try that out. And it's apparently much more durable. The fabric, the 20D fabric that it uses is a more durable fabric, and I've used the tent on one trip so far, and looking around at it, it's super durable. This tent should be bomb-proof. I also picked up this carbon fiber pole to use with the Lanshan. So this thing weighs like 60 or 70 grams, is super durable, and I've used it already with the tent and it holds up the tent really well. This is the 128 centimeter version, and I'm really excited to use this instead of trekking poles. It also folds up to be the perfect length to fit into my Zerk 40 pack. So I'm hoping I can get this through customs and into Peru and use it with my Lanshan one. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to buy a pair of trekking poles while I'm down there and use that to pitch my tent. You guys know I love my Sea to Summit Etherlite XT. I think it's a super comfortable pad, but a lot of you have recommended the Nemo tensor pad as a competitor for comfort to the Sea to Summit Etherlite XT. And I went out and picked up the Nemo tensor insulated in a regular wide size. And I'm gonna be using this on a bunch of trips this summer, and we're gonna see if it's really a true competitor to the Etherlite XT and whether it's more comfortable. I've used it on my floor in my condo a little bit, and it is a super comfortable pad. It has some great baffling to it and a little bit of a stretchy material, which adds a little bit of comfort to it as well. So stick around and we'll see come the end of the summer whether it stacks up. Another item that I'm done with is in 2020 is my Thermarest Vesper quilt. It was a great quilt, super high quality, and one of the few quilts put out there by a mainstream brand, but it just wasn't quite warm enough for me. As a result, I've gone down the rabbit hole of cottage manufacturers and came across 3 brands that seem to put together really amazing quilts, and that's UGQ, Hammock Gear, and Enlightened Equipment. I looked at all their quilts and they seem to have very similar specs, features, and quality, but the one I ended up going with was the Enlightened Equipment Enigma 20. There's one big thing that differentiated the Enlightened Equipment quilts compared to the other brands, and that was the fact that they have this sub-zero strap system that allows you to layer 2 quilts on top of each other and then strap them together to the pad strap. And this makes a very, very cool modular system. I ended up picking up the Enigma 20 and then also a Revelation 50 synthetic quilt. So that synthetic quilt adds 15 degrees of warmth to the system and also helps with moisture management when I'm out there on really cold days in the fall or even sometimes in the winter as well. I'm really excited for the warmth of this system as well as the modularity, and I've heard great things about Enlightened Equipment, and I'm definitely gonna be doing some full reviews of these quilts as well as putting together a series on why quilts are great options for backpacking and how to choose and build a custom quilt using the websites of these different manufacturers. As you can see, I have some really cool and exciting gear lined up for 2020. I'm gonna be putting it through its paces and sharing my adventures with you as I put miles on all the gear. If you've used any of the gear that I talked about today, give me your thoughts in the comments below. I'd be really curious to hear what you have to say, and I love hearing from you guys about different pieces of gear and always incorporate it into my reviews as well as gear choices. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, anyone can find the switch once the light is on.